Imagine a world where no one ever cries, where every pleasure is within reach, where you can swallow a pill and forget your pain, where babies are grown in bottles designed to perfection, where everyone is happy, or at least they think they are. Now ask yourself, would you trade your freedom for endless comfort, your soul for guaranteed happiness, your humanity for a life without suffering? This is the question Aldous Huxley forces us to face in one of the most terrifying dystopias ever written. And the most chilling part? We're already walking toward it. This is Brave New World, written in 1932 by Aldous Huxley. It's a story about a future where humanity has been perfected, controlled, and numbed into oblivion. A world where freedom dies not with a scream, but with a smile. The world state, a paradise built on lies. The year is 2540, or as they call it, 632 years after Ford. Henry Ford, the father of mass production, is now worshipped as a god. His assembly line didn't just change how we make cars, it changed how we make people. Welcome to the world state, a gleaming civilization that spans the entire globe. There are no wars, no poverty, no disease, no old age that matters. Everyone has a purpose, everyone has their place, and everyone is happy. But here's the catch. They were designed to be. In the central London hatchery and conditioning center, human beings are no longer born, they're manufactured. Rows upon rows of glass bottles line the walls, each one containing a developing embryo. These aren't natural pregnancies. The very idea is obscene, disgusting, something from the savage past. Instead, eggs are fertilized in laboratories. They're treated with chemicals, manipulated with precision. Some are given oxygen and nutrients to develop strong bodies and sharp minds. These become alphas, the elite, the thinkers, the rulers. Others are deliberately starved, stunted, kept small and simple. These become epsilons, the workers, the servants, the foundation upon which this gleaming world rests. This is the caste system perfected, not by birth, but by design, not by chance, but by choice. Alphas wear gray, betas wear mulberry, gammas wear green, deltas wear khaki, and epsilons wear black. Everyone knows their place, and they love it because that's how they were conditioned. Conditioning, the death of free will. From the moment they're decanted, born from their bottles, every human is shaped, molded, programmed. Babies are exposed to books and flowers, then given electric shocks until they scream. Now they'll hate reading and nature forever. Why? Because lower castes don't need books, and loving nature means wanting solitude. Solitude means thinking. Thinking means questioning, and questioning is dangerous. While they sleep, speakers whisper into their ears, hundreds, thousands of times. I'm glad I'm a beta. I'm so glad I'm not an alpha. They have to work so hard. I'm so glad I'm not a gamma. They're so stupid. It's called hypnopedia, sleep teaching, and it writes the script of your thoughts before you're old enough to think for yourself. By the time you're an adult, you don't need chains. You don't need walls. You are your own prison. But there's more, because even the best conditioning can crack under pressure. So they invented something else, something sweeter, something that makes you forget you're even trapped. Soma, a small pill, a little tablet, no side effects, no hangover, just pure chemical bliss. Feeling sad? Take Soma. Feeling angry? Take Soma. Feeling anything? Take Soma. It's like a vacation in a bottle, a holiday from reality. and everyone takes it all the time. This is the genius of the world state. They don't control you with fear. They control you with pleasure. Bernard Marx, the outsider. But even in paradise, there are cracks, and his name is Bernard Marx. Bernard is an alpha plus, one of the elite. He should be confident, tall, powerful. But something went wrong in his bottle. He's short, insecure, different. And in a world where everyone is engineered to be the same, different is dangerous. He feels things others don't. He thinks thoughts others won't. When everyone else pops soma and floats away, Bernard wants to feel his feelings, even the painful ones. When everyone else rushes to their next pleasure, Bernard stands alone and stares at the ocean. He's an individual in a world that's murdered individuality, and he hates it. But more than that, he's fascinated by it. That's when he meets Lenina Crown. Lenina is beautiful, popular, perfectly conditioned. She slept with everyone, as she's supposed to. In this world, monogamy is dirty, old-fashioned, almost perverse. Everyone belongs to everyone else, is the mantra. Your body isn't yours. Nothing is private. Nothing is sacred. But Lenina is confused. She likes Bernard. She wants to be with him, just him. And that thought terrifies her because it's not supposed to exist. Bernard sees this, and he wonders, what if she could be woken up? What if she could be free? The savage reservation, a window to the past. Bernard gets a chance to find out. He's granted permission to visit the savage reservation, a fenced-off piece of land in New Mexico where the old ways still exist. Birth, mothers, families, disease, aging, religion, all the things the world state erased. He takes Lenina with him, and what they find there changes everything. They meet a woman named Linda. She's white from the world state, but she's been living here for years. Why? Because she came on vacation, got pregnant, and was left behind. In a world where pregnancy is shameful, she became an outcast. Now she's old, fat, broken. She drinks mezcal to forget. She's a ghost of the old world, haunting the new. And she has a son. His name is John. John was born the old way, from his mother's body. Raised on the reservation, he's read Shakespeare, the forbidden texts of the past. He's learned about love, about honor, about God and suffering and meaning. He's everything the world state has bred out of existence. He's real. Bernard sees his chance. He brings John and Linda back to London. And what unfolds is a collision between two worlds, between freedom and control, between truth and comfort, between being human and being happy. John in London, the savage awakens. At first, John is amazed. The technology, the cleanliness, the order. "Oh, brave new world," he whispers, quoting Shakespeare, "that has such people in it." But the wonder dies quickly. He watches people swallow soma to avoid feeling anything. He sees children conditioned to think sex is just recreation, love just biochemistry. He meets the world controller, Mustafa Mund, a man who admits they've destroyed art, religion, and literature because they make people unhappy. And unhappiness is the one crime they will not tolerate. John falls in love with Lenina, but when she tries to seduce him, he recoils in horror. To her, sex is casual, meaningless. To him, it's sacred. He calls her a whore. She doesn't even understand the word. He's a man from the past, trapped in a future that has no room for his soul. Then Linda dies. Overdosed on soma, pumped full of chemicals until her body gave out. And John watches children, little epsilon twins, identical copies, dance and play around her corpse. because they've been conditioned to think death is nothing. No grief, no reverence, just nothing. Something breaks inside him. The rebellion, the cost of freedom. John storms into a Soma distribution center. He sees the deltas lining up for their daily dose, blank faces, empty eyes, and he screams, "Don't you want to be free?" He hurls the Soma tablets out the window. The deltas panic. They attack him. Riot police arrive, spraying gas to calm everyone down. Bernard and his friend Helmholtz try to help, but it's too late. They're all arrested. They stand before Mustafa Mond, the world controller, the architect of this perfect nightmare. And Mond is calm. He's not angry. He's almost sad. He explains that they tried freedom once. Art, science, religion, passion. They tried it all. And it led to chaos, war, suffering, instability. So they made a choice. Stability over freedom. Happiness over truth. Comfort over meaning. "We prefer to do things comfortably," Mond says. "But I don't want comfort," John replies. "I want God. I want poetry. I want real danger. I want freedom. I want goodness. I want sin." "In fact," Mond says quietly, "you're claiming the right to be unhappy." "All right then," John says, his voice steady. "I'm claiming the right to be unhappy." Mond smiles, a sad, knowing smile, because he understands. He's read the forbidden books. He's thought the forbidden thoughts. But he chose this world anyway, because stability works. Freedom doesn't. Bernard and Helmholtz are exiled to islands where other misfits live. Not punished, just removed. The system is too perfect to waste energy on cruelty. But John, they can't send him away. He's too valuable. A curiosity, a specimen. The lighthouse, the final tragedy, so John runs. He finds an old lighthouse far from the city and locks himself inside. He punishes himself, whips himself, tries to purge the poison of this world from his soul. He fasts, he prays, he tries to become pure again, but they find him. Reporters, crowds, they film him, mock him, turn his suffering into entertainment. And then Lenina appears, the woman he loved, the woman who represents everything he hates about this world. The crowd chants, "Whip her, whip her." They want a show. And John loses himself. He whips her, he whips himself. The crowd closes in, swept up in frenzy, in madness, in something raw they've never been allowed to feel. It becomes an orgy, bodies tangled together, Soma passed around. And John, broken, lost, gives in. He takes the Soma, he joins them. The next morning, he wakes up, and he remembers what he did, who he became, the shame, the surrender. He walks outside, climbs to the top of the lighthouse, and hangs himself. The final image is haunting, feet swaying in the wind, the body turning slowly north, then south, then north again. John chose death over the brave new world, because to him, a life without meaning wasn't life at all. Themes and analysis. The illusion of happiness. Huxley asks the question we're terrified to answer. Is happiness enough? If you could be blissfully happy but give up your freedom, your individuality, your soul, would you do it? The world state achieved what every government dreams of. No war, no suffering, no pain. But they did it by killing what makes us human. Art, love, struggle, meaning. Soma is the most brilliant weapon ever invented. It doesn't imprison you. It makes you love your prison. You can't rebel against a system that gives you everything you want, technology and control. This isn't 1984, where you're crushed under a boot. This is control through pleasure, through distraction, through endless entertainment and comfort. Huxley saw it coming decades before smartphones, before social media, before streaming services and instant gratification. He knew that tyranny doesn't need guns. It just needs to keep you entertained. The death of individuality. In the brave new world, there is no you. You're designed, conditioned, programmed. Even your thoughts aren't yours. And the most terrifying part? You don't mind. You were built not to mind. Huxley is warning us. When we sacrifice individuality for stability, we stop being human. We become machines. Biological robots programmed for contentment. Truth versus comfort. Mustafa Mond says it plainly. Truth makes people unhappy, so they chose comfort instead. They buried history, banned books, destroyed religion, not through force, but through irrelevance. Why read Shakespeare when you can take Soma? But John reminds us that truth matters, even painful truth, even dangerous truth, because without it, we're just cattle, well-fed, content cattle. But cattle, nonetheless. The savage, as Prophet John, is the only free person in the book, and he dies because of it. That's Huxley's final, brutal message. Freedom is incompatible with the modern world. You can have comfort, or you can have meaning, but you can't have both. And we're choosing comfort. Aldous Huxley once wrote, "Most human beings have an almost infinite capacity for taking things for granted. We think we're free, but are we? Or have we already swallowed the soma, welcomed the conditioning, traded our souls for convenience? Brave New World isn't a warning about the future, it's a mirror. And if we're brave enough to look into it, we might not like what we see. The question isn't whether we'll become the world state. The question is, have we already started?